Your legs don't suddenly become heavy at night by accident. There is a deep physiological reason behind that slow, dragging sensation that makes every step feel heavier than the last. Throughout the day, your legs carry the entire weight of your body, absorbing every movement, every minute of standing, every long moment of sitting without motion. Inside your legs, there are two systems constantly working to keep you energized. The circulatory system, which moves blood back toward the heart, and the lymphatic system, which drains waste fluids away from your tissues. When these two systems slow down, the result is the exact feeling you experience at the end of the day. Swelling, pressure, tightness, and that signature heaviness that makes your legs feel older than you are. What most people don't realize is that the veins in your legs must work against gravity all day long. With every step, your calf muscles act like a natural pump, squeezing blood upward. But the moment you stop moving, especially when you spend hours sitting or standing in one position, that pump weakens. Blood begins to pool in the lower legs, fluid starts to accumulate around your ankles, and the tissues become slightly inflamed. You don't see it immediately, but by nighttime you feel it intensely. That deep tiredness isn't just fatigue, it's stagnation. There's also the hidden role of the lymphatic system, a silent network of vessels responsible for clearing out metabolic waste. Unlike your heart, your lymphatic system has no central pump. It relies entirely on movement, muscle contraction, and deep breathing. When your day is filled with stress, shallow breaths, and very little lower body activation, your lymph flow becomes sluggish. This is why your legs may feel tight, puffy, or tender when you press on them. It's not fat. It's trapped fluid your body hasn't cleared. As we age, this becomes even more noticeable because the elasticity of veins decreases, valves become weaker, and the body retains more fluid toward the end of the day. But here's what many people misunderstand. This heaviness is not irreversible. In most cases, it's a functional problem, not a structural one. That means your lifestyle, habits, and nighttime routine are far more responsible for your leg discomfort than age alone. Another factor that silently contributes to evening leg heaviness is microcirculation. These are the tiny blood vessels, capillaries, that deliver oxygen and nutrients to your tissues. When they constrict due to stress, dehydration, poor posture, or even long hours of sitting, your muscles receive less oxygen. Under-oxygenated muscle fibers stiffen, fatigue quicker, and create that sensation of weight and pressure. Even your nervous system plays a role. Constant stress or mental overload increases cortisol, which indirectly affects fluid balance, blood vessel tone, and muscle tension. By nighttime, your body has accumulated an entire day's worth of microtension. The good news is that your legs can feel light again, almost youthful, when you restore the natural rhythm of circulation and lymph flow. Science shows that targeted nighttime habits can reverse a full day of stagnation. Before you sleep, your body shifts into recovery mode, making this the perfect window to reset your legs, flush out built-up fluids, and restore that feeling of lightness you've been missing. And once you understand exactly what causes heaviness, the steps to eliminate it become surprisingly simple and incredibly effective. Your legs aren't getting heavier, they're asking for the right nighttime routine. And in the next section, you'll discover the 5-minute ritual that can transform the way your legs feel every morning. The most powerful transformation you can create for your legs happens in the final minutes before you sleep, because this is when your body is naturally primed to shift into repair, drainage, and circulation reset. A simple 5-minute ritual, performed consistently, can reverse the entire day's accumulation of stagnation in your lower limbs. The first step of this routine involves gently elevating your legs, but not in the way most people imagine. Instead of lifting them straight up against a wall, which can sometimes overstretch the hamstrings, you elevate them at a comfortable 45-degree angle. This angle supports venous return without placing unnecessary tension on the muscles. When your legs are held in this position for even 90 seconds, the pressure in the veins decreases significantly, allowing pooled blood to move upward with far less resistance. Studies show that controlled elevation combined with relaxed breathing improves microcirculation more effectively than simply lying down. As your legs remain elevated, the second phase begins. Micro movements of the ankles and toes. These tiny actions activate the calf pump mechanism, which is the primary driver of upward blood flow. Pointing and flexing the toes at a slow, controlled pace engages the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles, squeezing the blood upward like a natural pump. When done in a rhythmic sequence, the veins open and close in a pattern that mimics walking, even though you're lying down. This is crucial because most people end their day with hours of inactivity, meaning their calf pump has been dormant. These subtle movements restore its function without straining the muscles. The key is gentle activation, not forceful contraction. With every micro movement, the lymphatic channels, which run parallel to the veins, start to drain. This release removes trapped metabolic waste that contributes to nighttime swelling, tightness, and the painful feeling of heaviness. Next comes diaphragmatic breathing, a component many people underestimate. Deep belly breathing lowers pressure inside the chest, creating a vacuum that helps pull blood upward from the lower extremities. Every slow inhale expands the diaphragm downward, which massages the lymphatic ducts around the abdomen. Every long exhale releases muscular tension stored in the legs through the nervous system. This breathing pattern also reduces sympathetic stress, allowing your blood vessels to widen slightly and improving oxygen delivery to your tissues. When executed together with leg elevation and micro movements, it creates a synchronized system that resets circulation far more efficiently than any one technique alone. It is the combination that produces the highest impact, not the parts performed separately. Once circulation begins to open up, the next phase involves gentle compression through hand-guided strokes from the ankles upward. This is not deep massage. Instead, it is a light, fluid movement technique that follows the natural pathways of lymph. Using minimal pressure is essential because lymphatic vessels respond best to soft, rhythmic strokes rather than force. When you slowly sweep your hands upward, the walls of the lymphatic vessels open, allowing built-up fluid to move toward the central drainage points near the hips. This technique has been clinically shown to reduce lower leg volume and relieve the sensation of heaviness in patients who struggle with lymphatic stagnation. Even 1 to 2 minutes of this guided drainage can create a noticeable difference in how loose and light the legs feel. The final phase of the ritual is stillness. After stimulating circulation, activating the calf pump, clearing lymph, and resetting breathing, your legs need a moment of complete relaxation so the effects can lock in. Lying flat with the legs extended allows freshly oxygenated blood to reach the muscles fully and encourages the nervous system to shift into recovery mode. This short period of stillness helps regulate vascular tone, stabilizes fluid distribution, and signals to your body that the legs no longer need to hold the tension accumulated throughout the day. When practiced consistently, this 5-minute nighttime ritual not only melts away the heaviness of the day, but conditions your legs to stay lighter, more energized, and more youthful over time. The feeling of heaviness in your legs is not just about blood flow. It's also rooted in the hidden networks of fascia, lymph, and microcirculation that sit beneath the surface of your skin. Fascia is a thin, flexible web of connective tissue that wraps around every muscle and vessel in your legs, like a second skin. Throughout the day, it stiffens due to dehydration, stress, poor posture, and repetitive movements. When fascia becomes rigid, it compresses the tiny capillaries responsible for delivering oxygen to your muscles, and it tightens around lymphatic vessels that are trying to drain excess fluid. This combination creates a deep, dull heaviness that builds slowly but becomes overwhelming by night. The problem is that most people never release their fascia before sleep, so the tissues remain restricted, trapping fluid and reducing circulation even while the rest of the body tries to recover. To unlock the fascia in your legs, you need slow, deliberate stretches that focus on lengthening the tissue, not straining the muscles. A gentle calf stretch where you hold the position without bouncing creates a sustained pull across the fascia, encouraging it to soften. The trick is to stay in the stretch long enough to let the fascia unwind. This is different from typical stretching aimed at flexibility. You're trying to change the behavior of the connective tissue, not force the muscle to elongate. Even 60 seconds of focused stretching can increase hydration within the fascia, allowing blood and lymph to move freely through areas that were previously compressed. This kind of release is especially effective at night because your tissues naturally absorb more moisture during sleep, making them more pliable and responsive. Microcirculation also plays a powerful role in how heavy your legs feel. These tiny vessels are the last step in delivering nutrients to your muscles and the first step in removing waste products. When they are restricted, your legs begin to accumulate byproducts like lactate and fluid, creating a sense of tightness and pressure. Gentle heat applied before stretching can dramatically improve microcirculation. A warm towel placed over the calves or shins relaxes the superficial layers, allowing deeper vessels to expand. This expansion improves oxygen delivery and flushes out stagnant fluid. Many people underestimate how quickly microcirculation responds to warmth, but even 2 minutes of gentle heat can create measurable improvements in tissue oxygenation. The lymphatic system is another key player in nighttime leg heaviness. Lymph vessels do not have muscles or valves like veins. They rely entirely on external forces to move fluid. When you spend long hours sitting or standing, lymph becomes trapped in the lower legs, creating swelling and discomfort. One of the most effective nighttime techniques for lymphatic release is skin traction. This involves lightly lifting or gliding the skin upward with your fingertips, without pressing deeply into the muscle. This subtle motion stimulates the superficial lymphatic pathways that sit just beneath the skin. When these pathways open, fluid that has been trapped all day begins to move upward, easing the pressure and releasing the dull, achy heaviness that builds in the evening. Another highly effective method is gentle rocking of the legs. When you rhythmically sway your legs side to side while lying down, you stimulate the lymphatic vessels that run along the inner thigh and calf. These vessels are particularly important because they drain directly into the body's largest lymph nodes. By creating movement without exertion, the lymphatic fluid begins to flow naturally, reducing puffiness and restoring that light, loose feeling in the legs. This technique works best after fascia release and heat therapy because the tissues are already softened and more receptive to drainage. When the fascia is soft, the lymph is flowing, and the microcirculation is open, your legs shift out of their stressed daytime state and into a supported recovery mode. This is the foundation of restoring youthful lightness to your legs. When practiced consistently, these techniques don't just relieve heaviness temporarily, they retrain your tissues to remain open, hydrated, and responsive, making your legs feel lighter every night and more energized every morning. Your nighttime recovery doesn't depend only on movement and circulation techniques. It is also shaped by what you consume, how you hydrate, and the temperature signals you give your nervous system before bed. The internal chemistry of your body is constantly adjusting fluid balance, mineral distribution, and muscle tension. When these elements fall out of alignment, even the best leg rituals can feel incomplete. One of the most influential factors is your electrolyte balance, especially magnesium and potassium. These minerals regulate the contraction and relaxation of muscle fibers, the tone of blood vessels, and the movement of fluid between tissues. When magnesium levels are low, which is extremely common due to stress, caffeine, and poor diet, your leg muscles remain partially contracted. This subtle tension restricts blood flow and makes your legs feel heavy by evening. Taking a gentle magnesium supplement before bed or consuming magnesium-rich foods like bananas, nuts, and leafy greens can enhance muscle relaxation during sleep. Potassium plays a complementary role, helping shift fluid out of the tissues and back into circulation. Without adequate potassium, your body retains water in the lower legs, increasing nighttime swelling. Hydration timing is another critical element. Many people drink most of their water late in the day, thinking they are doing something healthy, but this actually places stress on the kidneys and increases fluid retention in the legs by bedtime. The key is front-loading hydration earlier in the day and gradually tapering it by the evening. When you hydrate strategically, your body distributes fluid evenly instead of forcing it into the legs. Warm herbal teas before bed can help with fluid regulation without overwhelming your system. Certain teas, like chamomile or ginger, support vasodilation, allowing blood to move more easily through the capillaries. When your microcirculation is open, your legs can release the stress and swelling they accumulated throughout the day. This is especially effective when combined with the earlier techniques of elevation and micro-movement. Temperature therapy is a powerful nighttime tool that most people overlook. The body responds dramatically to thermal signals, using them to regulate blood vessel tone and fluid distribution. When you apply warm therapy to your calves, shins, or ankles, your blood vessels expand, improving oxygen delivery and encouraging the lymphatic system to drain. This is particularly useful for individuals who struggle with chronic calf tightness or stiffness after long periods of standing. On the other hand, a brief cooling moment, such as washing the legs with cool water, helps reduce superficial inflammation and calms the nerves. Alternating warm and cool exposure, even for just a few minutes, creates a pumping effect in the vessels, stimulating circulation on a deeper level. This alternation has been shown to improve venous return and reduce fluid buildup significantly. Your nighttime nutrition also influences the heaviness or lightness of your legs the next morning. Foods that are high in sodium, inflammatory oils, or processed ingredients cause the body to retain fluid, especially in the lower extremities. When you consume these foods at dinner, your legs swell more easily during the night. Replacing heavy, salty dinners with lighter meals rich in whole foods allows your liver and kidneys to process nutrients efficiently without forcing excess fluid into your tissues. Adding anti-inflammatory ingredients like turmeric, garlic, or omega-3 sources can further support vascular health and reduce nighttime swelling. Even your gut health plays a role, because poor digestion increases systemic inflammation, which affects circulation and tissue recovery. Another essential component of nighttime recovery is the blood vessel's ability to relax. When your nervous system stays active into the night, your vessels remain partially constricted, decreasing blood flow. A proper nighttime routine that prepares the mind as much as the body helps your vessels enter a state of natural dilation. Simple practices like dimming lights, reducing screen time, or taking slow breathing cycles allow the parasympathetic nervous system to activate. When this system is engaged, your blood vessels relax, your tissues receive more oxygen, and your lymphatic system drains more efficiently. This connection between the mind and the vascular system is well documented, yet most people don't realize how much evening stress contributes to leg heaviness. When you combine the right minerals, balanced hydration, supportive foods, and strategic temperature therapy, your legs enter a deep recovery phase that restores lightness, flexibility, and energy. These nighttime strategies work from the inside out, supporting every vessel, muscle, and lymphatic channel so your legs feel youthful and refreshed by morning. When practiced consistently, this formula becomes one of the most reliable ways to eliminate chronic heaviness and maintain long-term leg vitality. Long-term leg lightness is not created by one routine or one habit. It is built through small, daily patterns that consistently support circulation, posture, and tissue health. Your legs respond to repetition, and the way you move throughout the day slowly shapes the way your legs feel at night. One of the most powerful long-term strategies is improving the way you walk. Most people walk with minimal activation in the calves and glutes, which weakens the natural pump that pushes blood and lymph upward. When you shift your walking technique to include a stronger push-off through the toes and a smoother heel-to-toe transition, your calves engage more fully. This creates a rhythmic contraction that improves venous return with every step. Over weeks and months, this simple change reduces evening heaviness by training your muscles to support circulation naturally. even adding just 10 minutes of intentional walking after dinner can dramatically reduce fluid buildup by bedtime. Posture is another underestimated factor that influences leg health. When your pelvis tilts forward or your spine collapses from sitting too long, your hip muscles tighten, restricting the lymphatic channels that run through the groin. These channels are essential for draining fluid from the legs. If they remain compressed, even the best leg routines struggle to deliver full results. Correcting posture doesn't require rigid discipline. It's about maintaining gentle alignment throughout the day. Standing tall, distributing weight evenly, and relaxing the shoulders opens the pathways that support healthy fluid movement. Small posture resets. Every hour can keep these channels open, preventing the slow accumulation of heaviness that builds by evening. Your daily movement patterns also determine how flexible and hydrated your fascia remains. Sitting for long periods dries and stiffens fascia, making it less responsive to the nighttime recovery techniques you perform. Building micro breaks into your day keeps the fascia supple. This does not mean doing intense stretches. Even standing, rolling the ankles, or shifting weight from leg to leg rehydrates the tissue. When fascia stays pliable, blood and lymph move more freely, and your legs retain that sense of lightness you experience after nighttime routines. Over time, this simple habit acts as a long-term preventative measure, keeping the lower limbs resilient and youthful. Another core habit is adopting a consistent recovery window. Your legs need predictable downtime to repair themselves, and irregular sleep patterns disrupt this process. When you go to bed at different times each night, your body's internal repair clock becomes unstable, reducing the effectiveness of lymphatic drainage and muscle restoration. Creating a stable sleep schedule allows your body to synchronize circulation, hormone levels, and tissue hydration. This predictability strengthens the results of your nighttime rituals and makes your legs feel lighter with less effort. A consistent recovery window also reduces the chronic stress that tightens blood vessels and contributes to evening heaviness. Nutritional consistency is equally important. Instead of focusing on single foods or supplements, building long-term habits like including potassium-rich vegetables, magnesium sources, and anti-inflammatory fats in your daily meals supports the vascular system year-round. Hydrating steadily throughout the day rather than in large bursts trains your kidneys and blood vessels to distribute fluid evenly. Over time, this prevents the swelling that commonly settles in the lower legs. When your nutrition supports fluid balance and circulation on a daily basis, your legs remain naturally light, even on days when you are more active or spend long hours on your feet. One of the most effective long-term strategies is integrating small, daily calf activations into your routine. Simple actions like rising onto your toes while brushing your teeth, lightly bouncing your heels while cooking, or doing 5 slow calf raises at your desk activate the calf pump regularly. These micro-activations, repeated throughout the day, dramatically improve venous return and prevent fluid from pooling. Even people with sedentary jobs experience noticeable improvements when they incorporate these mini exercises consistently. Over time, these daily habits transform the baseline condition of your legs. Instead of fighting heaviness every night, you begin the evening with less fluid retention, better circulation, and healthier tissue tone. Your nighttime routine then becomes reinforcement rather than repair. This is how long-term leg rejuvenation happens, by combining consistent micro-habits with strategic nighttime rituals. When your lifestyle supports circulation all day, your legs no longer feel heavy, swollen, or tired. They feel light, energized, and youthful, not just at night, but throughout your entire day.